You're listening to Soundside. I'm Libby Denkmann. Seattle's brand new professional women's hockey team, the newly christened Seattle Torrent, faces off against the New York Sirens tonight at Climate Pledge Arena. Tonight's game is the third ever for the team, and their growing fan base has lots of expectations as the season gets started. So, to get a sense of how the season is going so far, Soundside producer Jason Burrows joins me. He's been following the team, and he's going to be at the game tonight, right, Jason?
That's correct.
Going? Okay,
yes.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So we got a brand new hockey team trying to build a following of fans and then also be viable on the ice, hopefully. As somebody who's, really into this, you're a fan. You're also, going to a lot of games. You got season tickets, right?
Yes, I do.
So what has happened so far? Catch us up.
Well, we're only 2 games in, but unfortunately we're starting 0-2.
No!
Yeah, our first game was up in Vancouver versus the Golden Eyes. We ended up tying at the end of regulation, but lost in overtime 4-3.
That was exciting, at least.
It was a great game. Our home opener was against the reigning champion Minnesota Frost, and while we lost 3-0, we did set a U.S. record for attendance at a women's hockey game with 16,014 people in the arena.
Wow.
It was awesome.
That's very cool. And what's the vibe like when you're in Climate Pledge for the Torrent games?
The vibes are immaculate. Both the Vancouver game up at Pacific Coliseum and the Minnesota game here in Climate Pledge Arena were very, very loud. Everyone seemed to be having a really good time. The Vancouver-Seattle game, it was sold out. Pacific Coliseum, 15,000 people. We lost in overtime, but it was awesome because their home crowd got to see them win in overtime, and the place just erupted. It was very electric. And I rode the fan bus up, so there were 55 of us on the bus, all fans. My seatmate was a hockey vlogger, Ava Wood, and she is very excited about the fact that we now have West Coast teams, and she thinks that the Seattle Torrent and the Vancouver Golden Eyes are going to be more like frenemies.
Honestly, I think we're going to be more teammates. I think it's going to be West Coast versus everyone. That's my hot take.
Another thing that I really loved about the game at the Pacific Coliseum was the Vancouver Golden Eyes use the Nintendo 64 James Bond GoldenEye pause music
Nice.
as what they go into intermission with.
Very fun.
Yeah, I love it. It's such a great little nod, the if you know, you know. As for the home opener here at Climate Pledge Arena, it was just good vibes all around. I got in line about an hour before the doors opened, and there were still maybe 50 people in line ahead of me. I had a really good time talking to a bunch of other folks. A couple of my friends were in line too, so I got to talk to them. All of the pregame stuff was really fun. The vibe in the building was great. There were some infrastructure issues. So
At Climate Pledge?
yeah. We had 16,000 people, but only half of the entrances were open and available for people to go in. So it took people 45 minutes to get into the building.
Oof.
Only one merch store was open. And so the line for merch went around the arena.
Oh, wow. They really were not expecting that many to show up for the women's hockey team for the Torrent.
And so I think tonight's going to be a little better because it's not 17,000 people, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
So how is the team doing? I mean, we said it, they're 0-2 so far, but at least the game in Vancouver was really close.
Yeah.
How are they doing on the ice?
That's a tough one to answer. On paper, we are built like a powerhouse. Both Seattle and Vancouver had the benefit of a really good expansion draft, taking veteran players from the existing 6 teams to help build those initial rosters. We got Olympic women's team captain Hillary Knight and fellow Olympic teammate Alex Carpenter, among many others. So going into the season, a lot of hockey pundits and sports reporters had us initially pegged as one of the favorites to win the Walter Cup, kind of like when the Vegas Golden Knights were the expansion team in the NHL. Their expansion draft got them really, really well set up, and they went on to win the Stanley Cup. Now, 2 games into the season, we've lost both. We're at the bottom of the power rankings, but I still think it's a little too early to tell. We're still growing. There are still growing pains. And during the press conference after the Minnesota game on Friday, Captain Hillary Knight said that she feels good about how they started the game.
Yeah, I think the first period was outstanding. And if we can bottle that up and play 3 periods like that, we're going to be a lethal team to play against.
Yeah, put it all together, right?
Yeah.
So what are you going to be watching for as the Torrent moves forward, Jason?
Well, like Hillary Knight said, they have to continue to play aggressively through all 3 periods. One of the things that I noticed, especially during the Minnesota game, was that while we had more shots on goal, our offense was not as coordinated as our opponents. Minnesota really showed why they've won the championship 2 years in a row. They played as a cohesive team. We stumbled a little bit, but it really does sound like they know the mistakes that they have made. They do have the talent to keep it going. So now they just need to pull it together. And tonight's game against New York is going to be tough. They lost to Montreal in their first game, but destroyed Vancouver 5-1 in their home opener this past Saturday. So the Torrent have their work cut out for them. I will say, I think it's going to be interesting to see how the fans continue to show up, right?
After they set a record for attendance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So tonight, the top level is not open, but the bottom, like the lower bowl, is full. So it's going to be loud. It's going to be fun. We'll see as we keep going whether people continue to show up, how the response is online. But yeah, all in all, I'm super excited, and I think that we have lots of really great potential.
Jason Burrows, producer on Soundside, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Soundside. Don't forget you can listen live on KUOW 94.9 FM Seattle at noon and 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, or anytime online at KUOW.org or on your favorite podcast app.